get started. And what we are doing today is going over some Virtual Academy questions. The four of us have been fielding questions and emails for the last couple of weeks. And this is a great opportunity to allow you to come on here, and we will try to answer some of these live because many of you have the same question. We will also, if we don't get to you, you just have to use the Q&A at the bottom of your screen, type in your questions, and we'll go through those questions here in a little bit if they are not answered during this webinar. So just a little bit of information about the Virtual Academy. It is an option for you for the 2021 school year. Students in the Virtual Academy are placed in courses without direct learning from a teacher. That does not mean a teacher is not involved. That just means that the teacher of record is a partner teacher. So it could be somebody employed by JPS, or it could be a partner teacher, somebody that is employed by a learning service. So that teacher of record is the person that will be in contact with your child. That is the person you will contact if you have questions about a lesson or questions about their learning. That is the person that is responsible for the IEPs and the 504. It is a highly qualified Arkansas certified teacher, so they are certified to teach these online courses. If you guys have not found the handbook online, just to let you know that the handbook is live online at the JPS website. You can see this version in English and in Spanish if you need it. And when we do this webinar tomorrow, we will have someone that is Spanish speaking. So if you have questions and you do not speak English, we can provide for our Spanish parents so that they can ask questions and get those answers in Spanish as well. All right, these courses that are online are asynchronous, meaning that they are done during any time that you wish. You are not bound by a date. You're a day during the week. You are not bound by a time during the day. This means that there will not be a teacher online per se to log in at 8 o'clock and do a Zoom meeting with you and say, we're going to have class at 8 o'clock today. You work through these courses on your own pace, and they last until the end of the semester. We get the grades, and please be assured that these grades do go on your child's transcript. You are still part of JPS, you are still our family, and we will ensure that all of your grades are put on your transcript. So a few questions that we have had, just general questions. And if you have any questions about face-to-face and how the classroom will look and all of that, you can call central office and they can better answer those for you. So we've talked about who will teach these courses. If you want to take a course that's not listed on our course list, is it possible for those classes to be taken virtually? There could be. Parents may request courses in which your child is interested in. So just because they're not on that form that you fill out to pick your course, there is a place at the end of that form that asks if there are any other courses your child is interested in. It is a catalog of courses from multiple vendors that we can choose from, but each course we need to go through, read it, make sure that it meets our standards, that sort of thing, to make sure it lines up with what's going on campus. And then we can offer that if it is available and it lines up with what we're doing. Not all courses at APSRC, Arkansas Public School Public Resource System, will meet those requirements. So there are courses that are listed there. We just don't offer them. Another question that we've been getting for the high school are about concurrent credit courses. We do not have concurrent credit courses through JPS VA. Students may earn college credit through the advanced placement courses, the AP courses that we have available. And then you complete that AP course, and then you would score 3, 4, or 5 on that AP exam. Again, students are not required to log in at a certain time. They will work at their own pace. We do have mentor teachers. That is somebody in district that will have access to all your students' information, their courses. They will see how often they log in, how long they're logged in. They will get their grades. So we do have someone here on campus that will also be looking at how your child is working. And if we find any problems, you might get a phone call. Will counseling services be provided to make sure students are completing classes required for graduation? So Brooke, I'm gonna wave at you there and you can unmute. I want you to say hello to everyone. Everyone, this is Brooke Looney. She is our JPS VA counselor.
Hello.
All right, so Brooke is a highly qualified Arkansas school counselor. She previously worked at MacArthur. She provides student support services and career counseling to ensure that students are taking the required classes to graduate on time. So this happens about 8th grade, where kids start taking classes for credit, but even in 7th grade, kids are looking at career options and that kind of thing, because we do have the academies at JHS. So she will be working with all parents. If you don't feel that you know, if you're certain that you've picked the right courses, that sort of thing, you can request on that registration form, just there's a box for you to check mark. I request a phone call or a Zoom meeting, or I need to meet face-to-face with the counselor. You can choose that, and you will be meeting with Brooke, and she will make sure you are on the right track for what you need. All right, Karen, I'm gonna let you answer this one. Will services including mental health, speech, OT, and PT be available for students who normally receive these on site?
The answer is yes. This is brand new for special education, just like it's brand new for Jonesboro Public School, but our special education department will be serving the students based on what is on their IEP. It may look a little different. That would be totally individualized, and we would need to, meet about the IEP and determine the best way to deliver those services to you through some type of virtual method.
All right, thank you. Cindy Thompson, I am going, if you will raise your hand, wave there. Cindy is our Director of Special Services. She kind of handles all of the GT, ACE, ELL, migrant, that sort of thing. Will you explain how that works for virtual students, please?
Our virtual students are going to be similar to what Karen just said for the SPED. We will still be serving our ELL students, our migrant students, and our GT students through virtual means. And just like with the SPED students with the IEP, our ELL students have their LPAC. We will be meeting at the beginning of the year once we find out exactly who is going to be taking virtual classes, and seeing how to best serve them through their LPAC.
All right, thank you. All right, another question that we've gotten, what will teacher availability be for courses taught through JPS VA? And if students have questions or require clarification for concepts being presented, will someone be easily accessible for assistance? That answer is yes. You will have a teacher of record. If it is not a JPS teacher, you can email the teacher of record. You can request a Zoom session. You can request email help, that sort of thing. So make sure that you are taking full advantage of your teacher of record. Just because they are not a JPS employed person here does not mean that they are not going to work with your child. So you are assigned a teacher of record, and they are there to help your child. That answers the question, can students email teachers? Can students email JPS teachers they know who teach or have taught those courses? Those questions need to go to your teacher of record. I will not tell a parent that they can't hire a tutor. You are more than welcome to go out and hire someone if you want to help your child through these classes. That is what we do when we are on campus and we have trouble. I've hired tutors in the past for my children. That's a personal thing for you. But if you have a question about your content or your class, you will have to email your teacher of record. All right, are there digital office hours for virtual teachers? You will get that information when you are enrolled in a course. I'm sure you'll get a syllabus, that sort of thing. You'll know your teacher's hours, if she's at a screen at a certain time of day, that sort of thing. There's going to be multiple teachers, so they might have different office hours. Another question, will there be a variety of modes for delivery of course content? Do the modules of studies that students are working on through JPS VA consist of reading only, or are there videos, lectures, or interactive components embedded in the module? In general, each course is designed in modules with multiple lessons. Instruction is delivered through the course portal, and most lessons include direct instruction through audio, video, or text. Students will listen, read, complete assignments. Some content is learned through lecture, interactive games, interactive labs, those sorts of things. There's different modalities that will happen online to make sure that your child is getting the content that they need. So when we say there is no direct instruction, that just means that there is not a teacher at 8 o'clock face-to-face with you to Zoom. There is direct instruction through other means. So there might be some recorded lectures and that sort of thing. There is also a guide, a teacher-parent guide for some of our courses. And that can be printed off. It may have some activities on there for you to do offline, that sort of thing. Someone asked, is there a chance for the application deadline to be extended past July 17th? That has been done. If the request to participate form, that needs to be completed by the 22nd. We need you to do your registration form by the 24th, and I email those out after I get your request to participate form. I will let you know that I get a lot of emails back, and then we start making phone calls. So if you have not received something from me, then either I have not gotten to your name on the list to send you the link for the registration form, or your email has been bounced back to me because it was incorrect. I've tried to fix some of them where I noticed there's a space, or you forgot your .com or .net or something on the end. But if you have done that participation form and you have not received anything from me, you can email me. You can see my name there at the top. It's kina.crenshaw@jonesboroschools.net, and I can correct that email address for you to make sure that you are getting what you need. I'm also getting some back saying that mailboxes are too full and that you are not receiving emails. So if I can't get that to you in an email, we need to find some other way to get that to you. So please feel free to email me from a correct email address so I can return it. Another question, if students go to traditional school, may they switch to JPS VA in the middle of the semester or year? We will be enrolling students a semester at a time. So if you start out with JPS VA and then you want to return on campus, you can do so in January. You're making a commitment for a semester. There is no, in October, I changed my mind, I want to go back on campus, that sort of thing. We have to get all the staffing and get everything completed here, so we make sure that all the students get what they need and we have the correct staff in place to have all this work. So we want to make sure that you realize that you are committed for a semester. what are the options for an on-campus class that students can take if they want to participate in a club or activity that does not meet as a regular class period? Okay, this is the big AAA question. AAA activities, you will need to take one course on campus. That course is the activity if there is a course for that activity. We do have some AAA activities that do not have a class on campus during the day. In that case, you will choose a different course. So just remember that if you think about JPS VA as its own school, we may establish clubs and activities ourselves for your children, but if you are doing a AAA activity, you will need to pick one course on campus. All right, what is the content curriculum? Is it the same as on-site instruction? Okay, the courses at JPS VA are aligned with Arkansas Learning Standards. However, the sequence of those courses and the learning experiences, the modalities, those sorts of things, they are different. All of the students will work independently at their own pace, and that course has to be completed by the end of the semester. When we get that course at the end of the semester, and this answers the next question, we will put your grade on your transcript. So don't think that I have this grade, it's not going on my transcript, my kids taking these classes and wasting their time. That's not what this is. These are true courses. You will need to log in every day, do your work, that sort of thing. You do get a grade. That grade does go on a transcript. All right. What and how much experience do the instructors have? Remember that JPS VA teachers are Arkansas licensed, highly qualified teachers in the content and grades that they are facilitating. Just like any other school, staff experience will vary. How will courses with labs or art be done? Will supplies be given to the students? Almost all of the coursework is completed online. There shouldn't be anything too much for you to do offline as far as I need something in addition to complete the course. The science labs and art projects are done virtually. However, in some courses, students do have the options to complete hands-on tasks. JPS VA will provide some supplies, and parents will need to provide some supplies. And that supply list will be provided in the near future. So we will be giving you some items to work with so that you can have some hands-on instruction and do some things hands-on at home, but there will be some things that parents will have to provide. Will the grading system be similar to face-to-face? How will this be done? If the kids start face-to-face and have to go online like last spring, how will grades be done? Just a reminder that this is completely different from AMI. AMI last year, this was a situation that came upon really quickly. We had to find a way to get kids instruction. This is not watch PBS, that sort of thing. These are true courses. You start the course, you complete the course, you get a grade. So you will be introduced to new lessons and new content throughout this course. It's not just a repeat to go over what you have already learned like it was with AMI. If we have our own computers, do we have to get the school issued computers? Students will be issued a JPS device. So we will make sure that your child has a device to complete their coursework. Since all the courses are online, the portals can be accessed by any computer. So I'm not telling you that you can't use your own computer at home. Just know that your child will be issued a device to work on their courses. All right, so here's one. I think we've kind of answered this one, but we are going to let Karen take this one. How will special education accommodations be achieved through JPS VA? Will special education students who are self-contained or resource be enrolled in specific classes with special education teachers?
So the way this is going to work is that if you do choose to do virtual, you do have to be able to enroll in regular ed courses, and a copy of your IEP and modifications will be sent to the teacher of record, and they can do some modifying and adjusting, but you would need to be able to do regular courses. And then your special education minutes would be on top of that through our special education department. Every student, whether they're resource, self-contained, would have to be looked at individually, and then parents make a decision if they felt like this option would work for them. I'm trying to go through and call parents that request individually, and we talk through some things. There's just a lot to bring to the table, so it's hard to make just a blanket statement, but I am more than happy to get the committee together. Also, you know, your previous teacher, the teacher you might be transitioning to in our SPED department, would need to kind of look at each child individually to see if virtual is an option, depending on, you know, what services they get through our department. Would kind of make a difference whether those regular courses would work for them or not.
Thank you. All right, so another question here, and my questions are piling up here in the Q&A. I do see them, guys. We will go through those in here in just a second. We'll use the last 30 minutes to go through those. Will JPS VA students still be able to access resources like MobyMax, USA Test Prep, those sorts of things that we do in addition to, and some of these resources will be available to students. So don't feel like we're just throwing you out there and you just have your online class and we won't offer any other support. That's not what we are here to do. We are here to support your child just like they were on campus, and we want to make sure that they have the best experience virtually that they possibly can. Will JPS VA students have to report to school for standardized testing days? Yes. Students have to take all state and district required standardized tests on a JPS campus. So that would be one of those times that you will be required to come on campus. Does my senior have to take a full course schedule? Brooke, can you give this one? I've gotten this one multiple times over the last couple of weeks. Can you explain this one, please?
Sure. So I am working in close contact and communication with all of the Jonesboro High School counselors, depending on which academy the senior student is in. And I'm really communicating with them to make sure that we place the senior in all the appropriate and necessary courses to make sure that they are maintaining the rank that they need to, as well as getting prepared for college and all of the things. And so I'm working in close contact with the counselors. So this varies student by student as far as how many courses they are needing, their goals, those kinds of things. And so I'm working in close contact both with the parent of the child and also with the JHS counselors to make sure we're placing them exactly in the courses they need.
Perfect. And if you do need help, I know you guys can see Brooke's name there at the top. She is brooke.looney@jonesboroschools.net. So you can email her as well if you have any questions about scheduling kind of thing. All right, so let's move to kindergarten. What do I need to take to kindergarten to register? So before I answer this question, I just want you guys to know that if you are going to be a virtual student, you have to be a JPS student. You still have to be enrolled. So if you are coming from a different school district, your child has to go through the process of enrolling at JPS to be eligible for JPS VA. So if you are going to kindergarten, I know they haven't had their registration yet. It's coming up the end of this month, early August. You will need to take birth certificate, social security card, proof of residence. That could be a bill that's no older than 30 days. You need a shot record and proof of a physical. Your shot record can be faxed to JKC. And if your child has not had their physical, no worries. Just have the doctor to fax over the date of that upcoming physical. Okay, so if you take all those things plus your packet to register back to the kindergarten center, that's what you're going through that enrollment process. Now, we are still going to take request to participate forms if you are not in eSchool. For us, that means you are not a district student yet. You don't show up in our records online. You can still do that request to participate form. We want you to do that. You can even include, go as far as doing that registration form. You can still fill that out. Just know that if we get to the point that we start enrolling kids, getting supplies, that sort of thing, and your child is still not showing up in eSchool and they are still not showing up as a JPS student, we will drop them from JPS VA. So that is the first and foremost thing that you need to do if you have not done that yet, is to be sure that your child is enrolled as a JPS student. With that being said, also know that your child is still going to be a JPS student when they enroll. I've had the question, will the grades transfer from JPS VA over to Jonesboro Public Schools? You will still get a JPS schedule. It will look just like it has always looked. It's a course code thing. We just assign the correct courses that are virtual to your child. So when they get that schedule, just be rest assured that you are still a JPS student. We are not taking you out of JPS to put you in the virtual academy. This one, Brooke, you may need to answer this one just because I've not done this before. Do grades transfer from other homeschool or online programs to Jonesboro Public Schools? So if a kid has been at home doing homeschooling, the parents have purchased their own content, that sort of thing, how do those grades transfer over, or will those grades transfer over?
That is something that the parent would meet with the counselor at that building and go through the documentation and the courses, and they would have a conversation about what courses those match on campus, the grading system, the content that was learned in those courses, and all of that. And so that is something that the parent would take that documentation and meet with that individual school counselor and have that conversation.
Okay, perfect. All right, some other questions. I just have pages of questions here, and I promise we're going to start on your Q&A there here in just a second. Will paper packets be available for virtual learning? Students at JPS VA will not receive paper packets. Everything that you need to complete your course is online. Now, with that being said, there may be something online that you may want to print off. You may, if you don't have a printer, you might want to send an email, say, hey, I need this. Can you print this off? We're here to support you in that, but just know that there's not paper packets like it was for AMI. You're not going to have to do paper packets and then turn them back in. Everything that you need to complete the course will be online. Is there any cost associated with virtual learning? You are still a Jonesboro Public Schools student. There is not any cost associated with virtual learning. We take care of all of that. However, you may choose as a parent to purchase additional supplies to help your child at home. That is completely up to you. Technology and Wi-Fi needs. When you guys fill out that request to participate form, there is a question on there about your home internet. We added that so that we can go back through and we can see who may need some assistance. And our technology director, Michael Summers, is working on that. So there will be information, more information to come up about about Wi-Fi needs here in a little bit. You don't have to worry about technology. We will provide a device to every child that will be in the virtual academy. All right, 9:33. We are going to go through some of these questions and answers and see. My daughter is entering kindergarten, so I am super curious about how this works for kindergarten students. Okay, remember, you still have to be enrolled as a kindergarten student, so make sure you go through that enrollment process. Classes are still done virtually. There will be nothing that you need to take to JKC or anything like that. You will get a teacher of record. It may be a JPS teacher, it may be partner teacher. So it will work the same for kindergarten students. They just may not be able to spend as much time online at one given sitting than a 12th grader might experience, you know. So you might have a kindergarten student that can maybe stay online for about an hour, hour and a half at a time, whereas a senior at JHS might be able to stay online up to 6-8 hours at a time. So you just have to monitor that, and the teacher will be monitoring that to make sure that they are online enough to get that course completed by the end of the semester. Will students be able to know who other students are and be able to communicate with them via email? So that sounds like you're asking if there will be a situation where students can have study groups, those sorts of things, if they're in the same classes, and communicate with them via email. I want to get some more directive before I answer that question, but I don't see any reason why they wouldn't be able to. Kids talk anyway, and they know, hey, you're in my class, or that sort of thing. But we'll check up on that one and get the answer back to you on that one. Is the student able to participate in ACE virtually? Cindy, can you answer that one?
Yes, students will be able to participate in ACE as far as their GT teacher will be. If they're in elementary school, they will be assigned to a GT teacher. It may not be the actual teacher that they have right now. It'll just be one of our GT teachers, and they will serve them the minutes that they're supposed to be served through different ways, through Google Classroom, through giving them assignments. They may Zoom with them and make sure everything's going on, make sure they understand their assignments and different projects and things like that.
Okay, perfect. Will Spanish be available as a course? We do have Spanish available as a course for JPS VA. I don't know if you're directing this question as far as elementary. I know that's a special class for IS. We do not offer Spanish in the lower grades. Where we're talking is where you're getting Spanish for credit. Even in the middle school, there is a course I believe that you can sign up for, but it's not a specific language. It's more about foreign language in general, learning about cultures, that sort of thing. It's a really neat class, so make sure you read the description on that, or if you need the description, let me know. Let's see. Is it the same for 5th grade and kindergarten, or just high school? All classes are online for all students. For those of us who are economically challenged, is there a way we can get a school-owned laptop in order to pursue this option? Yes, we will take care of you. You will be provided a device to complete your courses. Does the parent of a 3rd and 4th grader have to pick their child's courses? Okay, so if you are in grades K through 4, there's some things that we need to know, but you're not necessarily picking courses. Those courses are already picked for you as they follow what your child does online. So that's your English, math, science, social studies, art, music, and PE. and that's specific for each grade level. We offered the option, I believe, in 5th and 6th grade to take some electives just based on interest. We figured the kids at that age, they're old enough to start picking an elective and doing some extra if they want to there. So that is an option from 5th grade and up. Let's see what else we have here. Will my son be able to participate in 9th grade band? He is a percussionist. I think they are still awaiting some information about band and choir, and the last that I heard, that might be coming out this week. So I don't want to answer that question just yet, just because this is a very fluid situation, and answers to questions change very often. So just because of this pandemic and everything that's going on, just know that things will change, and I try to keep that the virtual handbook updated online. So if I hear some new information, I'll change it there. It will be posted on the JPS Facebook webpage. And we've also, if you have not found the JPS VA page on Facebook, there is a page there as well. We've just been posting everything on the JPS page for right now, because that's where most parents know to go. They don't realize that we have that Facebook page yet. So if you have not found that Facebook page, go out and find that, because we will put updates online. Okay, can students be able to do sports even though they are doing virtual classes? If the sport is a AAA activity and your child is in grades 7 through 12, yes, they may do sports as available. And I'm saying as available because for the same reason being that everything changes daily. I don't know what AAA might say next week about sports. So as of right now, yes, they can participate in sports. They just need to take one course on campus. Is it set up kind of like ASU College Online? No, I would say in this respect. I've had some questions where parents have asked, can I take part of my classes on campus and part of my classes online? No, in this situation, it's one or the other. You're either online or on campus. So the only exception to that would be AAA. You need a course on campus to participate in AAA activities. So it's not really set up like ASU College Online. It's set up more as a public school online. Will my child be able to attend dances with the school? That depends on what's going to happen with dances on campus. I can't answer that question right now. I don't know how this is going to pan out over the next several months when things start coming around, like homecoming and that sort of thing. So clubs, those sort of things, no, your child will not be able to participate in clubs on campus, but we can do something as a virtual community to help your child be part of something like that. Where do I find the virtual application? You can find the virtual application on our JPS homepage. So if you go to the JPS JonesboroSchools.net homepage, there are a couple of places that you can get information about back to school, and there are links there that say Virtual Academy, and if you click those, it will take you to the handbook, which has the link to get the request to participate form. After you finish that request to participate form, make sure you put your correct email address on there, because I will email you the form to register for your courses. All right. Will the school district distribute some form of internet or computers for students? I think we've answered that one. What about seniors? Will they be able to do work study, I guess it's called, or internship now? Also, if a senior graduates Virtual Arkansas, will they be allowed to participate in graduation ceremony if one is held at the end of the year? And the answer to that is yes, you are still a JPS student. We are not taking that away from you. You're just choosing to do your courses online. Your counselor will work with you to do internship is kind of what they call it. I know I've seen it on some schedules where kids get early release from school and they would go home, essentially halfway through the day. So that's a counselor question. If you need to speak with your counselor, you can get in touch with Brooke Looney. She'll start putting those schedules together and we'll work with you on that. Okay. What will I need to do if my daughter decides she wants to return to school next semester? That's easy. You let me know. And we will get, or you can let Brooke know. And then what we will do is kind of like changing a schedule. Since you're still a JPS student and we still have your schedule, we would have to change your schedule and your courses to be the online or the on-site courses. So just let us know if that's what you're thinking of doing in January, and we will gladly move you back over to an on-site school. Will the module course packets be similar to the AMI packets? No, these are truly courses. You start them, you end them at the end of the semester. There are not any AMI packets for these courses. How many students have committed to Virtual Academy at this point? I've not looked at it this morning and I don't want to give you the wrong answer, but there's quite a few on there. So that's why we're needing this done. If at the higher the numbers go up, then we need to look at our staffing. So we can't staff and provide for what we don't know. So that's why we have made that cutoff for that registration form on the 24th, so we can start putting in place what we need to for the number of kids we have. Are AP classes available? Yes, AP classes are available. They will be on the sheet when you do your request, when you do your registration form. If there is an AP class that you would like to take that you do not see on that list, please list it, because we will go through the catalog and make sure that it aligns. And if it does and there's no problems, we can offer it. But if it does not, that won't be something we'll be able to offer. So just when you go through that registration form, you'll be able to see which AP classes we have aligned and that are available as of today. All right, I'm getting them down. How many we got? They're going really quick here, and I'm going to have to go faster. We've got 15 minutes. All right, what if one moves to a different school district while online learning is still in session? So meaning that you're in the virtual academy and then you move to a different school district. We get your current grade and turn it over to your new school district, just like if you moved out of on-site and move to a different school district. So you do get transfer grades. Can students complete coursework early? If you can, I always tell the kids at the high school, if you can get it done early, get it done early, just so you're not stuck the last 2 weeks of the semester trying to get all of your work done at one time. Stay on a pace, stay on a schedule, make sure that you're getting everything done in an appropriate manner to get your classes completed. Now, if you get that done early, kudos to you. You can work at any time as you please. Just go work through your course, and we do not keep you constrained by time. Just has to be done by the end of the semester. Do you have to log in every day, and will attendance records be taken? We will have someone that is checking in to make sure students are logging in daily, and that will help us with some attendance. We can't have a kid that takes virtual and they haven't logged in for 10 days. That's gonna bring up some questions for us. We're gonna see that. We're gonna start making phone calls, counselor, that sort of thing. So everything will happen just like it would on campus. Oh, this one is about kindergarten. Again, we've answered that, but just off the top of my head, I remembered parents have been asking about pre-K. There is not a virtual program for pre-K, so we are not taking pre-K students. Is there a certain amount of hours per day that a student is required to be logged on and participate in virtual learning? In our handbook, we kind of give a guide for about how much time a student can be logged in. In K-12, this varies from 1 hour up to 8 hours. So it really depends on the child and their grade level. And there's no way to specifically say your child has to spend 1.5 hours logged in every day. I mean, that might not be the point, the pace for a kindergarten student. Maybe that student can only sit for an hour a day. Now, if you are a senior and you have a full course load, then you're obviously going to be online probably longer than an hour a day so that you can complete your coursework. I have students that log in on Saturdays and Sundays at JHS. We've been doing online classes for quite some time. So, as long as you are completing your courses by the end of the semester, but know that there is someone that will be looking at how often kids log in and how long they are staying logged in to be sure that they are participating and completing their assignments. Will there be set parent-teacher conferences like there are with face-to-face instruction? That will probably depend upon your teacher of record. So if it's a JPS partner teacher, they may request a parent-teacher conference, but maybe when they see something going wrong, they may request a parent-teacher conference on a particular date for all their students via Zoom. So that's not an option that's not there. So just know that you could be asked to participate in a parent-teacher conference or any kind of conference at that, whether it be for ELL, whether it be for special education. You'll be probably required to attend some conferences, and we can do those via Zoom if you don't feel comfortable coming on campus. All right. My son needs to register for classes. Do I contact his 9th grade or 10th grade counselor for what he is scheduled for? Brooke, can you answer that? Have you been talking to counselors at the high school to get current course schedules? How are you doing that?
So if the student is going to be in JPS VA, then I have been working through the spreadsheet of courses and calling parents that have requested a phone call, and I'm working through all of those. If your child was scheduled to be on site, I would just email the counselor at that particular school. I know JHS counselors are back on contract. I don't think junior high ones are quite yet, but I would just go ahead and shoot them an email and just kind of clarify what the how to set up the on-site schedule as well.
All right, perfect. Will we automatically be assigned a mentor teacher? Yes. You will be assigned a mentor teacher. That teacher is a certified teacher through Jonesboro Public Schools. Everybody will have a mentor teacher of some capacity, somebody that's checking in on students' classes, grades, login, that sort of thing. And you will be able to reach out if a service is needed from your mentor teacher. Let's see. What is the curriculum? How does it compare or align with on-site? If a student enrolls virtual for fall and then plans to return on-site in January, are there anticipated learning gaps that will be addressed? What is the plan for that? So all courses are aligned. The state says we can use these courses. They are Arkansas aligned. They just may follow a different sequence of how that information is put out to kids. So it might be taught, something may be taught first semester, but then you go back on campus and you realize, oh, it's taught second semester on campus. We do not control that content when it is a JPS partner teacher. That teacher controls that content and puts that content out for the kids. But it does align, being that all the information is there. It just may be given at a different point in time. If you plan to return on-site in January, any anticipated learning gaps that will be addressed. Each course is a semester at a time. So you'll be able to see what is assigned during the semester, and we will have to look and see if something is missed, if we have to provide something that maybe was taught during first semester on campus, but then it's not taught until second semester in January on campus. I should say first semester virtually and second semester on site. So we have to address that when and if that even becomes a situation. Just know that in many of these classes, they have to follow a certain sequence. You can't move on until you know something prior to. So that kind of helps in that sequencing, but we will look at that if and when that happens. Do they get lessons weekly, or will they get all the lessons they complete for the complete semester when they start? Any virtual course that I have seen, it does not let you move on until you finish the prior lesson. So it's not that it's assigned weekly. You have the entire course. You can work at your own pace, but you can't skip around and say, I'm going to do unit 1, and then I'm going to do unit 10, and then I'm going to go back and do unit 3. You have to follow them in that sequential order. Is football a class? Yes, it is a class on campus. If my children attend VPA, will there be a teacher from that school as a point of contact as well? No, there will not be. You will be assigned a mentor teacher. Will my son be able to do 9th grade band? He is a percussionist. We answered that one. We are awaiting some information with band and choir. When is JKC open so I can drop off the registration paperwork? You may want to try the end of this month, beginning of August, the 1st of August. How will we be able to see their grades? Any online course that I have done, parents have the option to be added. So there is a place when we register kids to put in 2 parent email addresses. So you will get the same information. You'll get grades, how long they're logged in, how long they're staying logged in. We just have to be sure that you have the right email address in there so that you get all of their information. So I can assign 2 parents and 2 mentors to each account. Let's see. Going through, I know we have just 5 more minutes and I still have 53 open questions. So please know that if I didn't answer your question here, you can email it to me. I typically sit by my email, or if it's a counselor related question, you can email Brooke. If it is a special education related question, you can email Karen Swift. And if it has to do with ELL, gifted and talented, or ACE, you can email Cindy Thompson. Okay, will there be any support via paper available to assist outside online work such as handwriting? The only handwriting course we have is cursive writing through, and that's in 3rd grade. That's on the registration form when you do that. And will there be any support such as papers? You might have something like a writing tablet in your supplies, that sort of thing. So there, you will get some supplies. And a course could possibly have a workbook for you to work through. So those items have not been ordered yet. Okay. I think we answered that one. Will virtual kids still be included in the yearbook and receive the packet to order school picks, school shirts, fundraising? How will they receive this information? That might be something that we set up to keep you from having to go on campus with a lot of kids. If that's your fear, is sending them online, we'll just have to look at how that's going to work. How can I get my kids transferred to SCS? Not sure what SCS is. 2 more minutes. Can you repeat the Facebook page, please? We have the Jonesboro Public School website, and then you have the K-12 Jonesboro Public School Virtual Academy. When will I be able to pick up my child's computer and supplies? We have that listed right now for August 3rd and 4th, but know that that could change. There are guidelines that have to be followed if we have a certain number of people in a building, that sort of thing. So as of right now, everything is scheduled for the 3rd and the 4th, and you'll get information on that as we get things in and we are ready to pass that out. So just know that that date could change. How will we know if our kid is in the JPS VA? Once you do that registration form and we have your courses and you have committed for a semester, we will go ahead and start putting their classes in at APSRC. You will get an email once your child has been enrolled in courses, and this is going to happen later in August once we get everybody in. You will get an email explaining how to log into your courses, that sort of thing, and that comes from APSRC. Okay, we've got 1 more minute. I'm going to scroll way down here and see if I have any that we didn't get to. Shelby County Schools. I'm not familiar with Shelby County Schools and what they're doing. When do you know your child's teacher on record is? When they get scheduled, you'll know who their teacher of record is. All right. If we commit to JPS VA for the first semester, will the students be able to go back to their regular magnet school for the next semester if we choose for them to go back to in-person schooling? You will be put on a list as priority to get back into your regular magnet school that you came out of, but just know that you are giving up that spot when you come to JPS VA. And then if you decide, hey, I'm going to go back in January, you will. I do have, when you completed your participation form, your registration form, and you will be given priority to get back to your regular school. All right, we have hit 10 o'clock, which means my throat is tired. I'm a little bit parched, but I'm going to give you guys just a second to make sure that you write down our email addresses from the top of the screen, and everything is first name dot last name, and it's at jonesboroschools.net. So JONESBOROSCHOOLS.net. And you can send emails to Cindy Thompson in regards to special programs, ELL, ACE, migrant, that kind of thing. Karen Swift for special education courses or classes, and to Brooke if you have questions about registration or courses. And if you just have an in general question and need some answers, please feel free to email me. One more thing is, if you request a callback and you receive a callback from an unknown number, you may want to answer those for the next few weeks, because some of us are making phone calls from home, we're making phone calls from campus, and I've had lots of calls go straight to voicemail, and I'm playing email tag with a few parents. So make sure if you have an unknown call that you still answer those. I try to be as prompt as I can with my email responses. Everybody here is. And just let us know if you need anything. So we are going to